Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. IG Elephant Man _ podcast and Facebook / Elephant Man Podcast. Join us. Shalom, shalom, blessings to all. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes, man. It's a blessing to see another year on this side, the land of the living. So we just thank the Most High for another year. You know, He keep us from danger seen and unseen. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes. If you haven't seen, where's that box at? If you haven't seen Modern Medicine, Nipsey, Nick, and CB, go check it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link to where it's at on the HebrewConnect.tv. For some reason, Facebook said I was having copyright infringements or something. But I actually showed all videos straight off their site. You know, maybe I showed too many, maybe I showed too long of material. I don't know, but they blocked it, and so you can't see it. So I'm trying to put it on different platforms. It's definitely on the Facebook site, and it's definitely on the Hebrew Sphere.tv. Okay, HebrewConnect.tv. I'm sorry, HebrewConnect.tv. Yeah, man. Hopefully everybody blessed and doing well. You know, praying for everyone. My take. Everybody had their take on the Chris Rock and Will Smith thing, man. And here's my take on it. I mean, and then I was going down my timeline, boy, 2 days full of stuff, right? Some people was on Will Smith's side, like, that's what he get. He shouldn't have said nothing about his wife and this, that, and the other, and she got that disease, and that's why her hair was falling out, da 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 da. And he went up there and he represented, you know, just that and the other. You don't disrespect a man's woman like that. Then the other people was like on my timeline, man, you know, Chris Rock is a real man. He didn't act a fool after he got slapped. It's all good, this, that, and the other. You know, he's showing character, da 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 da. Somebody else was like, Jada should have grabbed Will by the arm and stopped him from going up there, blah, 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 blah. Then I seen a video about how it could be staged. It do look like he put his neck out and then put his arms behind his back to embrace himself for the slap. He don't reflex put his arm up or nothing. So that's a whole nother different thing. We know that they have humiliation rituals and stuff. I don't know if that was for real. I don't know if it's a humiliation ritual. One thing I do know that I'm not taking the side on it. I was sad, man. I was just like, man, that's jacked up, man. We just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It just is jacked up. It's almost like when you watch the news and they say guy kills 2 people, this, that, and the other. Then they put his mug shot up there and it's a brother up there. You know what I'm saying? You just be like, ah. So that's how I was feeling. I was just like, dang, bro. These 2 grown men on stage in front of everybody, in front of all Babylon, acting a plum fool, man. And it's just not really, well, Chris didn't do nothing, you know, but he told a joke, you know what I mean? Again, I'm not taking sides on it. I'm just like, man, it is embarrassing and it's sad, man. You know what I mean? Those brothers, and they apologize since and all that, but I'm just like, man, that's crazy, man. We shouldn't have to do all that, man. We shouldn't be the laughing stock. We shouldn't be the, you know, it just really rubbed me the wrong way with that, you know what I'm saying? And then, but on the flip side, like I said, if it's a humiliation ritual and they're trying to, you know, go to another level and wherever they're trying to go to, then it's like, but still, why would you have to sell yourself like that? That's just crazy, man. This place is, this place plays for keeps, for real. And that's why I was talking about the strongholds and soul ties, man. It's like a stronghold. Okay, the system got a stronghold on our mind, will, and emotions, man. And I think for me, man, I don't know what it is. I ain't trying to be super deep, holy to now, special, all these different words cats love to say. It just ain't the same. It just ain't the same. We just want every man, woman, and child, to be treated right, with respect, with dignity. And it seems like a lot of times, not that we're the victims, but it seems like a lot of times our people come up with the on the short end of the stick, man. And it's just crazy, man. I mean, even what they got the new judge in there and different that, oh, a woman of color in there, and she's going to represent. But the question is she? Can she? Can she really represent? Right? Will justice, quote unquote, prevail because she's in there? You know what I mean? Or she got to do exactly what they tell her? That's how I think about it, man. Yeah, and they give us these little things for that inclusion and to make us think that we a part. But in reality, in my opinion, we're not a part, man. We're not a part of that system. You can put Maya Angelou on the quarter, promise to put Harriet Tubman on the 20, and take Uncle Ben off the rice box, and you could do all those different things, man. But it's not genuine. It's disingenuous, man. It's just not. It's not. They ain't for us. You know what I mean? And then we got the allies, the so-called allies, that they're not really coming for us. They got another agenda. They got an alphabet agenda that's tied on to our agenda, or this other bill that's tied on to this, and it's just we just been used, man. I feel like we use and abuse, and so we gotta focus and on the Most High, man. I'm like done with this place. Like I'm telling you, I'm serious, man. So you guys pray for me. I'm like, I ain't feeling none of that. March Madness ain't the same. The doggone Super Bowl, even though I watched it, it wasn't the same. I'm just like, man, I'm fed up with y'all, man. It's just, y'all not genuine, right? Y'all got the selective empathy going on. You know what I mean? You know how to pass a bill, right? Asian hate bill get passed in 5.5 seconds, and they still hemming and hawing on whether they're gonna let this person go or let this person stay, or prosecute this person for doing it. I'm like, man, y'all playing a bunch of games, and it's because they've been comfortable. They've been comfortable making us the laughing stock, the byword, and the punching bag. But I'm gonna tell you, I always say this. I mean, every dog has his day, right? You don't have to have a stockpile of weapons and all this old different stuff. Every dog has his day. You reap what you sow, and so, but we can't love this place, man. It's like an abusive relationship. I look at it as an abusive relationship, right? And also a soul tie, right? Israel has a soul tie with Babylon. We are so intertwined with this system, we cannot let go. We do not believe we can let go, right? It's an abusive relationship. It's domestic violence. I wrote down and looked at all these different things, and I'm gonna share some of these different things that I have found about soul ties and strongholds and just oppressive behavior. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom or make nobody mad, but I just like I, I'm not on that, man. It's just I can't explain it. So the Most High is trying to take us to a whole other different level as a people. And it's crazy. Let's read some of these different things that I had got up. All right, so spiritual stronghold. A spiritual stronghold is anything that has power over you, right? It's supposed to be Yahusha, right? But throughout our lives, we all come up against strongholds that are desires of our flesh, right? In context, the Greek word for stronghold is okaroma. I might not be saying that right. Okaroma, and it's translated into prison, bondage, prison, right? A stronghold. A spiritual stronghold is more than sin; it's bondage. A stronghold is in context. It is a natural desire in us that Hashatan twists so that sin has control over us, right? So we pretty much put sin on ourselves. You know what I mean? And I don't want to talk about sin no more and all that. You know, everybody's a motivational speaker. Got the motivational speaker gospel and different things like that. We get it. Our strongholds are sometimes masked as something good. So we may even know what the enemy is using against us. It can be something you don't trust, Yah, or something you're striving to fulfill within yourself. And these are some examples of stronghold. This was interesting because this is talking about these are different things that we went through as a people. The social, emotional detachment, the trauma, the rejection, the need to be accepted. Like I'm telling you, man, like I don't know. All right, so bitterness or unforgiveness. You may think of revenge or feel hatred towards another. You're often angry and feel resentful. Obsessive worry or fear. Who this sound like? Right? Jealousy, addictions of all types. Right? You can even be addicted to attention or praise. Lust, meaningless, intimate encounters. Perfectionism, which drives you to control. Selfishness, a fragile ego. Despair or complaining attitude. So much low self-confidence it prevents you from living for Yah. Discontentment, lying, people pleasing, gossip, judging thoughts or feeling superior or judgmental. Okay, so those are some of the things that we deal with as people. We don't even know that we're dealing with them. We just walking and just living our lives and don't even know that we got bondage or strongholds placed on us, man, by this wicked beast system. And it's not the devil made me do it. It's not blame game, but we got data, right? We got receipts, right? Years and years and years of trauma. So we have to he said, be not conformed, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So we got to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. This place, it'll do a number on you. Okay, 2 Corinthians 10, 4 and 5. The weapons we fight with are not weapons of the world. On contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretentious pretension that set itself up against the knowledge of Yah. And we take captive every thought into the obedience of Yahusha, right? So we have to take every thought captive. We got to cast down imagination. It's a battle daily, right? These different strongholds try to get control of your mind, your will, and emotion, and gaslight you and just and have have the I'm not saying the victim. I'm not calling us the victim, but we've been through a few things to make them feel bad or make them look at themselves as the problem. All right, that's not always so. So look, so here it is. It say symptoms of a soul tie. Now this is all from different websites that's dealing with spiritual or sexual soul ties or connections, right? But it's so interesting. A lot of this stuff that they're talking about is how we got a soul tie and a stronghold with Babylon. Break down the communication, right? Identity loss. That's crazy. It said identity loss. You won't know who you are. You will take on those labels and then lose your identity. Wow. That's crazy. It's identity loss. Not recognizing humanity in others. Feeling that nobody gets you. Being treated or treating people as commodities instead of individuals, right? So you just treating people, you don't see recognize the humanity in others. Don't recognize suffering. Wow. So hurt people. You end up being bitter. You're numb. You're callous. You're indifferent to others' suffering, right? And even when I have made that show, Selective Empathy, a lot of people, for some reason, selective empathy about the what's going on in the Ukraine. A lot of people might look at that as not, being callous and being hard-hearted. That's not at all. What's going on over in the Ukraine is terrible. I'm just saying, don't have selective empathy. Do the same thing for the Nigerian students. Do the same thing for us, or we get displaced or dislocated, as a people and as a nation. Don't treat us any kind of way and then pull out the world's smallest violin for you and yours, because you ain't that more important than us or nobody. And same thing with us. The Most High, we was, we the children of the Most High. We supposed to do the same thing, for other nations, man. But we're not gonna have Stockholm syndrome and have this hate ourselves and love our enemies type things. No, we're not gonna do that, right? And but we're not gonna love ourselves either. Just said no man after the flesh. But we're gonna have a balance. We're gonna love humanity as a whole. We're not gonna you can't just do us any kind of way and say anything to us, right? The Holocaust is not more traumatic experience than cattle slavery. It's not. It's not that. And so to paint that picture is wrong. You feel what I'm saying? We've been through some things for sure as well. So so you don't recognize suffering. You're numb, callous, and I see that even in some posts. Man, it's rough. People they get bitter, they get angry, they get numb, right? And so we see that a lot, right? Staring with the same brush. You don't see people for who they are, right? So you get into these different stereotypes and stuff, right? Excuse me. Fruitful, unhealthy soul tie, irrational thinking, not capable of reasoning, having loss of mental clarity, illogical, right? Some of the stuff that we do and say we see on social media, it's like, wow. We walking up crates and we doing all kind of stuff. Forks and sockets, and it's just crazy, man. And it's because we are just gone batty. We got to be clothed in our right mind. We got to be brought back. We got to be conformed, but not conform. We got to be transformed by the renewing of our mind, right? Evaluate yourself and others according to previous context. Shutting down emotionally. Unhealthy, unnatural desire or attraction to people, places, or things, right? Just using the domestic violence, right? We see images of trauma in Hollywood. We see images of trauma in the streets in real life, So our Hollywood experience, our real life experience is traumatic. So we have to cast our cares upon the Most High, and know that He has a plan for us, and know that He cares for us. Lacking judgment and discernment, right? The inability to establish and maintain proper relationships, low self-esteem, people pleasing. How much of that do we see? People pleasing. Want everybody to like us, right? They're not gonna like you no more or no less, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't work with people. I'm not saying you shouldn't help people, but don't go out of your way to try to help somebody else. That's not gonna make them like you more, right? Especially a person with a selfish narcissist attitude. They're gonna be like, I deserve it, and you need to be doing more. And the first time you say no, or the first time you don't do it, then they're gonna be looking all kind of sideways. So you can't be people pleasing, right? Poor boundaries. I go to the next one. You got to be able to set boundaries, right? People just can't just say and do anything they want to you. It don't matter what their position is. It don't matter who they are. They and you speak up, but now you in your flesh. No, I ain't in my flesh. You just ain't gonna do me any kind of way. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of the Most High, right? Just like you are. So you ain't gonna do me any kind of way, right? Reactivity to people's thoughts and feelings, caretaking of someone else's problems or feelings, like it's your job to fix someone. Caretaking, man, that will wear you out. You already got your own set of problems, and now you trying to caretake for somebody else is crazy. You can't do it. You'll wear yourself out, burn yourself out. Some of that stuff you got to give to the Most High, right? Control. You start to control someone, or someone controls you. All right, this is wild. These are all different sites. So I'm reading these things, and I'm gonna read the scriptures. We're gonna get out of here. But I'm saying we have it's like a stronghold. We want acceptance, that rejection, that we just like, man, they like, what you want? We just want civil rights. We just want to be created equal. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can't even do that. You know what I'm saying? It's a ancient hatred, uh, and it's just crazy, man. You got to come up. Power wheel, right? Now these are some abuse on the power wheel. Now I want you to listen to see if this has happened to us as a people. Okay, listen to this. Not just us, because some people, oh man, they had slaves over in Ireland and people across the world, they're going through things too. Don't do that. I'm not trying to magnify my problem and minimize your problem, but you're going to acknowledge. You're going to acknowledge or step off or step back, right? And don't over spiritualize it either. Turn the other cheek and keep looking towards heaven and using scriptures out of context, so we can be beat down and downtrodden. No, don't do it. Use it in context. Use it right. Okay. Emotional abuse, including undermining a person's sense of self-worth through constant criticism, belittling one's ability, name calling, or other verbal abuse, damaging a person's relationship with the children or friends or family, right? Calling you names, right? Just controls your finances or refuses to share money. That's not just a person, right? That's a system who wants to control your finances, right? Refuse to share resources, right? Punishes without holding affection. Expects you to ask for permission. Wow. Some folk think in 2022 that you still 3/5 of a man. Expect you to ask for permission. Threaten to hurt you, your family, or pets. Humiliate you in any way, right? That's crazy. That's the emotional abuse. Psychological abuse involve fear by intimidation, threatening physical harm to self, partner, or children, destruction, mind games, wow, or forcing isolation from friends and family. I see that about a lot about isolation. Pull you off to the side and isolate you and then manipulate you. I see that a lot. Those who deal with those different psychological things try to isolate you. Financial or economic abuse involves making or attempting to make a person financially dependent. Wow. By maintaining total control over finances, resources, withholding access to money, or forbidding employment. So that happens in relationships, but that happens in the system as well, right? Attempting to make a person financially dependent, right? Want you to always be dependent, right? If I cut your checks, then I can control what you say, right? If I endorse you, right, you lift you up, and you scared you're gonna lose your endorsement, you scared you're gonna lose your 501c3, you scared you're gonna lose your big tither, right? You tiptoe around certain issues because that person is a heavy tither and a heavy giver, and so you don't want to offend that person, and so you tiptoe around that. Nah, you should be free. Who the son sets free is free indeed, right? So financial and economic abuse. That's crazy. Physical abuse. We already know about the physical abuse. Involves hurting. People call me, involves hurting or trying to hurt a partner, or people, right? Pinching, grabbing, shoving, slapping, shooting, beating, property damage, right? It just scares you by driving reckless, forces to leave, just a whole bunch of mental trauma. That physical abuse is crazy. That trauma. We dealing with so much trauma. We have to pray. We have to ask the Most High to heal us, right? Heal us from all of these different traumas. Heal us from these things that we dealing with, man. We deal with a lot of stuff. I don't want you to pull out the world smallest violin for me, or get some sympathy or empathy, but I want um us to think about that. Okay, so let's look at this right here. Exodus 9. Oh, let me see. Did I finish reading all of those things? But these are interesting things. I pulled these different resources. Um, stalking. That's funny. Involves any pattern or behavior that serves no legitimate purpose and is intended to harass, annoy, or terrorize. Harass, annoy, or terrorize. Harass, annoy, or terrorize. Pull you over for no reason. Burn a cross on your lawn. I know. Some of y'all gonna be mad. I know I'm gonna get some emails. That's what it says in this thing. Typically, stalking activities include repeated telephone calls, unwanted letters or gifts by mail, surveillance. That's everywhere. Home and other places that the victim is known to frequent. Stalking usually escalates, right? You got somebody looking and just I don't know if that was considered stalking, but that's interesting though. All right, it's very, very interesting. Exodus 9. Yah said to Moses, go tell Pharaoh and tell him that this is what Yah, the Most High God of Hebrews, say. Let my people go that they may worship me. That's Exodus 9 and 1. So we got to be, we got the Most High saying, let my people go. Let them go mentally, physical, and emotionally. They have to be let go so we can worship the Most High. We can't be double-minded, right? A double-minded man is unstable in all their ways, right? So let's read. When I put that the mighty weapons, I'm gonna read that again. 2 Corinthians 10, 4 through 5. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yah to the pulling down of what? Strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yah, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Mashiach. Amen. Revelation 18. After these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and become an inhabitant of devils, and holding every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. The merchants of the earth waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you may not be partakers of her sin, and that you receive not her plagues. For her sins have reached into heaven, and Yah have remembered her iniquities. Wow. So that's Revelations 18, 1 through 5. So we definitely got to get our minds right, man. Our mind, will, and emotion right. And like I said, we all in a different place. And some people, hey, it ain't that serious. And but my whole take on that whole thing is just a control, right? It's just I don't know. It's like a mind control thing, man. That's what it feel like, bro. Like it ain't, and again, we're not making light of what happened to Sister Jada. You know what I mean? She probably sensitive about that situation. I don't know why Will did what he did. Again, some say it's a humiliation sacrifice. I mean, ritual. Some say he just lost it, right? I don't know. But I'm just saying, gotta be the laughing stock and look like we can't control. Well, some people look like he's out of control. Some people look like he's defending his woman and all of that. But I'm just like, man, why us? Why on national TV, man? And so praying for all the parties involved. And I really don't have a side on it. I just know that my timeline was interesting. It was split down the middle, right? Some was for Chris. Like Chris, you stood your, you didn't lose your composure after you got hit, right? And then other folk was like, Will, you good, bravo for standing up for your wife, right? Or whatever. And just like that, world star hip hop. He said, she said, they said, right? Just like that. And it's just like, wow, they got us on the yo-yo string. Whatever they want to do, whatever they want to drum up, man, they just do it. And it's just like, I'm like, nah, man, we it's a whole nother season. It's a whole nother different mindset. That's a whole nother different ball game. Yeah, and that's another thing too in closing. When we look at folk and they're in abusive relationships, right? The girl might be just going through, right? Or the guy. Sometimes you might have a Jezebel and you be a weak Ahab, trying to please her. Or, flip, the guy's real controlling and abusive. And trying to just, everybody around the people in that relationship could say, man, why don't she just leave? Why don't she put up with that? Because there's different levels of abuse, right? It could be physical, right? Rings underneath their eyes and stuff like that. And they still, like I said, we read some of the reasons why they want to leave. The low self-esteem, right? They don't think they can go nowhere, right? They physically scared. But it's like, why don't they leave? That's easy to say because they're not involved in that particular soul tie. So you don't have a soul tie or no yoke or no bondage to that individual. So you're on the outside looking in, and it's easy to say, man, you're making a bad decision. All you got to do is just pack your bag and get up out of there or whatever the situation is. They're not, so you got to pray for that person. Pray for those family members, those victims, of abuse, domestic violence and abuse. So that's the same thing with us. It's like, man, I'm looking, even, and not because you said something about the Will Smith thing, but I'm like, it's really, we supposed to preach the good news. And I'm doing all my time. Some preachers love Babylon. Not saying we got to hate it, but I'm like, we're trying to be different. We're trying to move different. The Most High is doing something different. He want to do something different in us, man. And we love this place, man. We love Babylon. We love Babylon. So we got to be not conformed, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind, and let the Most High help us. And but you got to want to be helped. You got to want to be kept. You got to want to the yokes and the bondage to be broken. And it can be done. And it's just Hollywood is just crazy, man. They just got. It just feel like it's like the sunken place. I don't know how to explain it, man, without offending people saying I'm judging, but it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just wild, man. We got to pray for our people, and we gotta get focused. All right. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversation, Double Evans in the room. I am out of here. Shalom. Perfect. Perfect.